Jeff, speaking of athletic directors, he's a native of Baton Rouge, came to Tulane, coming home, so to speak, last year from northern Iowa, where he served as athletic director. Undergraduate and graduate degrees from Ole Miss. He worked there in the athletic department, played defensive tackle for the Rebels, and worked previously as associate athletic director in Wisconsin. And he also served as senior associate AD at Iowa State. Tulane football, the win streak continues after the win over North Texas this past week, and the Green Wave have a very short night in the sheets. Got to travel to Charlotte Wednesday and play on Thursday against a pretty good team in American Athletic Conference play, but somehow you got to believe John Summerall will have them ready for that. Please give a warm quarterback club welcome to Tulane Athletic Director David Harris. David?
All right, good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to be here. It has been a whirlwind, but exciting and fun for all the reasons that you would think. Having the chance to be able to come back home to Southeast Louisiana. Growing up in Baton Rouge, my wife grew up in Natchez, Mississippi, but we've spent the last 22 years in the Midwest between Wisconsin and Iowa. And so having a chance to be able to come where my family originates here in the city, both of my parents were born and raised here, but then after getting married, moved to Baton Rouge where I was raised. And so I've always had very strong connections to the city and spent a lot of time here growing up, but it's really been a privilege now being able to truly call this home and to be in a situation where my family and I are continuing to raise our son and who's involved in sports, football, basketball, and baseball, and having a chance to be able to lead the Green Wave athletics department. When I was just looking at my calendar the other day, and it was about a year ago that this opportunity came available, and I told our people that when I first heard that Troy Dannon was leaving to go to Washington and this position was coming available, I reached out to a friend of mine who worked in the search firm industry, and I said, I don't know if you will get the Tulane search, but if you do, I want you to know that I'm interested in the job. And I felt that way, and my family and I felt that way because we felt like Tulane was a special opportunity, that it was truly a special place that had a chance to be one of the models of college athletics, to be able to show that you can have high-level academics and have championship-level athletics. And so that's what we came to be able to work toward accomplishing. And 1 year in, or just short of a year, I have not been disappointed in the people that I've found and the people that I've worked with, the student athletes that we have in our department and the way that they work and the way that they conduct themselves. They just do a phenomenal job each and every day. And so in a short period of time, I was just thinking this morning about some of the things that have happened here in the past year. I look at Tulane athletics from an academic standpoint. I think we had 164 student athletes that made the honor roll last year. We had, I think it was 89 student athletes who graduated with their degree. We had just over 300 student athletes that had above a 3.0 grade point average, and our graduation success rate was 93%. And so I always like to start by talking about what our student athletes are doing in the classroom, because to me, that's what's truly preparing them for the steps that they're going to take after they leave the university. But then I looked at what we were doing from a community standpoint, and last year, I believe the number is 5,595 community service hours were done by our student athletes as well, which ranked us 10th among all Division I institutions. I believe it's the 8th consecutive year in which we've been in the top 25 as far as community service work. So our student athletes, despite their busy schedules and what they're doing from an athletic standpoint and getting ready for examinations and quizzes and all the things that happen in that regard, they're doing a great job connecting in our community and finding ways that they can not only be role models for young people, but to provide service that we feel like is beneficial to the New Orleans community. From a financial standpoint, been really excited that if you look at season ticket sales for football, they are the highest that they had ever been here last year. I was looking, I think our Kids Club membership was up by 140%. That our revenue numbers in many cases were the highest that they've been in a decade. If you look at money that was coming in through the Green Wave Club, which is our annual fund, we have gone from just over $2 million to now over $3.5 million. We set the goal for this year to be at $4 million. So when we're able to achieve that goal, we will have about doubled donations to the athletics department in about a 3-year time period. So lots of excitement about what's happening on our campus. If you look at it from an athletic standpoint, just last year we had 3 of our teams that won conference championships. We had 4 of our teams that qualified for the postseason. We had 4 student athletes / coaches participate in the Paris Olympics this past summer. And we had 6 student athletes that were drafted into professional leagues, 2 in football, 4 in baseball. So we continue to do so many good things across the board. And then as we go into this season and look at what our football program is doing, being in a position where they're 6-2 and having had a chance to win 5 games in a row, and are in a position to hopefully, if we can continue to win, be in a position to play for a conference championship for the 3rd time in the last 3 years. There's a lot of work that has to be done before we can get to that position, starting with the game that we're going to be playing at Charlotte on Thursday night. But if you're watching us play the way that I do, just incredibly excited about what we're seeing, incredibly excited about the leadership and the vision that Coach Summerall is putting forward. I was so fortunate in that you don't see it as being fortunate when it's happening, but I get named to the position on November the 21st, which is the Monday before Thanksgiving last year. I went to our conference, I went to a football game that Friday. That Monday, I had my press conference. That following week, we played for the conference championship. And then the day after, on that Sunday, our head football coach calls and says he's leaving to go to Houston. So I'm not even at day 1 on the job yet, right? Day 1 is like January 3rd. I'm like at day -45, okay? And it's like, oh yeah, we need you to go out and hire a football coach. And so before I'd even officially started the job, I remember I got that call on that Sunday afternoon. I was already on the phone with a search firm looking to begin the process of hiring our coach. And that process, which went by very quickly, led us very quickly to John Summerall. And I've told people this before, we had done our research, we knew his background, we knew that he had been at Tulane and lived in New Orleans, he had played football in the SEC, had strong connections here, he had been really successful at Troy University, all the boxes were checked. But I didn't know him. And so when I had the first chance to be able to sit down with him, we were scheduled to talk for about 90 minutes, and we ended up talking for about 2.5 hours. And I've told people that I don't know that we needed 2.5 hours because he had me like in the first 10 minutes, right? If you've ever sat down with somebody who has it, has the personality, has the passion, has the fire, the charisma, the vision, and it just was kind of coming off of him during that interview, that was our interview with John Summerall. So there was no one else that we wanted to come and be our coach. We were very fortunate to be able to close that deal, and we feel like we are benefiting now when we see the success that we're able to have on the football field, and we want that to continue this season and for seasons to come, because we believe that he is truly a special coach and that he is helping us to build a very special program in an environment where that's incredibly hard these days. With the movement that student athletes can have now, it's hard to be able to get and to keep the kind of quality players that you need in order to be able to build and sustain a program. But I believe John has put together the kind of staff and the kind of program that gives us an opportunity to be able to do that. So we're excited to watch the rest of the season play out. We want to be in a position to win a championship. We're trying to set the expectation of having a consistent championship caliber program across all of our sports. That takes a lot of work, it takes a lot of time, it takes a lot of great people, it takes a little bit of luck. But that's what we're pushing for. That's a big part of our vision, to build comprehensive excellence on a consistent basis in Uptown. But not just with our football program. If you look at, once I leave Charlotte actually we'll play Thursday, I'll leave Friday morning. I'm going to Wichita, Kansas to watch our cross-country team compete in the conference championship. Our women's cross-country program is a defending champion, so we're obviously hoping that they will go and defend their championship. And if you look at our volleyball program, they're in a position about halfway through the season where they are positioned to be in the top 8 teams that are chosen to go to the conference tournament and has a chance to be able to compete for a championship there. So those are our fall sports, but our winter sports are starting now. And I'm just excited because I feel like we have the right coaches, the right people, the right kind of momentum and excitement to truly have a special program that does the kind of things that people in this city will be proud of. So it's an honor for me to be here leading the program, working with the young people, working with the coaches, the other leaders that give us an opportunity to truly be special. We will continue to work to do that every day and to make sure that the people in this city are proud of us, proud of the work that we do, and proud of the way that we represent them. So thank you very much.